Listen, it actually is, I think, very offensive to women in terms of not understanding their agency, their authority.
Please don't say that. Why? They said we think it's very inappropriate for you to say. So why? I'm president. I want to protect the women of our country.
Ever wonder what Trump's protection for women looks like? Picture this, a big orange safety vest that shrinks every time he opens his mouth. Seriously, folks, Trump's idea of protecting women is like using a sieve as an umbrella. But wait, there's more. We've got side-by-side footage that'll make your jaw drop faster than Trump's approval ratings. On one side, Trump's boasting about being women's knight in shining armor. On the other, the real-life consequences of his Supreme Court picks. Spoiler alert, it's not pretty. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our new superhero, the Tremendous Protector. With his flowing cape of NDAs and a utility belt packed with lawsuits, he's here to save the day, or at least that's what he wants you to think. Our Orange Crusader has been busy lately, making grand claims about protecting women.
If I don't win this election, and I've been very good, you know, they say Trump's been right about everything. I've been right about a lot of things. Even Ted will admit that. I've been right about a lot of things. You say, he's Hitler. And then they say, he's a Nazi. I'm not a Nazi. I'm the opposite of a Nazi.
But let's take a closer look at this so-called hero's track record, shall we? Trump's been strutting around like a peacock, bragging about how he's the best thing to happen to women since sliced bread. He's promised to be their champion, their guardian, their knight in shining, well, let's say gold-plated armor. But here's the kicker. His actions tell a whole different story. It's like watching a magician promise to pull a rabbit out of a hat and then setting the hat on fire instead. Let's roll the tape, folks. On one side of the screen, we've got Trump boasting about his tremendous respect for women. Nobody respects women more than me, he claims, puffing out his chest like a proud rooster. But on the other side, it's a horror show of real consequences. We're talking about policies that have sent women's rights back to the Stone Age faster than you can say "cuff-F." The contrast is so stark, it's like comparing a gourmet meal to a moldy sandwich found under the couch. On one side, we've got Trump's words floating around like pretty little bubbles.
Joe Biden is a criminal, and he's been a criminal for a long time, and you're a criminal in the media for not reporting it. Jewish people would have a lot to do with a loss if I'm at 40%. If I'm at 4, think of it, that means 60% are voting for Kamala.
On the other, we see the harsh reality of women losing control over their own bodies, facing workplace discrimination, and dealing with a healthcare system that treats them like second-class citizens. But hold on to your hats, folks, because the most outrageous contradiction is yet to come. It's so jaw-dropping, it'll make your head spin faster than Trump can tweet "witch hunt" in all caps. Are you ready for this? Drumroll, please. Ta-da! Trump's crowning achievement in protecting women. His Supreme Court picks that led to overturning Roe versus Wade. That's right, folks. His idea of protection is taking away a fundamental right that women have had for half a century. It's like hiring a fox to guard the henhouse, except the fox is wearing a bad toupee and shouting, "Make America Great Again." Alright folks, welcome to the Trump Protection Circus, where women's rights disappear faster than evidence in a Trump lawsuit. It's a wild ride of contradictions, and our ringmaster, the orange turd himself, is ready to dazzle us with his latest act of respecting women.
Has said, as he has, that women should be punished for their choices, whether he has talked about his pride in taking away a fundamental right from women.
The real verdict is going to be November 5th by the people. And they know what happened here, and everybody knows what happened here.
Let's take a stroll down memory lane, shall we? Grumpy Trumpy's got a history of sexist remarks longer than his tie. Remember the Access Hollywood tape? That little gem where he bragged about grabbing women by their, well, you know, real classy, Donnie diapers. But wait, there's more. He's been busy attacking Kamala Harris too, even backing up some nonsense about how she got her job. Talk about a stand-up guy, right? Now, here's where it gets really fun. Picture Trump standing there, chest puffed out like a peacock with a bad spray tan, claiming he's the ultimate champion of women. Meanwhile, in reality land, he's treating them like yesterday's cuff-F. It's like watching a magician trying to saw a woman in half, except the woman is women's rights, and Trump's not even pretending to put her back together.
Puerto Ricans love me because I was the president that stood up for them more than any president. Every time I go outside, I see somebody from Puerto Rico. They give me a hug and a kiss. I can tell you stories about Lady Gaga. I know a lot of stories about Lady Gaga. And John Bon Jovi, every time I see him, he kisses my ass.
But don't just take my word for it. The ladies aren't buying what Trump's selling. Polls show a big old gender gap in Trump's popularity. Turns out women aren't too keen on a guy who talks about them like they're items on a McDonald's menu. Even Nikki Haley from his own party is saying Trump's comments are making women uncomfortable. You know it's bad when your own team is calling foul. And get this, some folks are calling Trump's act the macho mystique. It's like he's trying to be Reagan, but instead of riding off into the sunset, he's falling off his horse and blaming the horse for being a Democrat. This tough guy routine is about as fresh as month-old milk, and women voters are starting to curdle. But hold on to your hats, folks, because Trump's grand finale is coming up. What could possibly top overturning Roe v. Wade in his quest to protect women?
Lumbee, Catawba.
Drip, 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 ha, drip, drip. Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing, bing. Wiggle, waggle, wiggle.
And has legal restrictions on the right she rightly should have to make decisions about her own body.
I'm on the edge of my seat, and let me tell you, it's not because I'm excited. It's more like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you just can't look away. So what's a voter to do in the face of such tremendous protection? Well, I've got a crazy idea. How about we protect ourselves from Trump?
And of course, the reason Trump is a cosplay garbage man this week is to try to distract us from the backlash he's getting from the Puerto Rican community. Struggling to get into that truck in this iconic moment. I got greasy fingers, I found some fried chicken in the back.
Now there's a thought that might actually make America great again. So there you have it, folks. Trump's idea of protection is about as useful as a chocolate teapot in the Sahara. It's like he's trying to fix a broken leg with a Band-Aid made of sandpaper. Real smooth Donnie diapers.
I'm going to do it whether the women like it or not. I'm going to protect them. I'm going to protect them from migrants coming in, enemy combatants, and she's calling them all fascists and Nazis, okay? But she's a fascist, okay? She's a fascist.
But here's the thing. We don't need Trump's so-called protection. What we need is to protect ourselves from his nonsense. And guess what? We've got a secret weapon that even the orange turd can't grab. The voting booth. That's right. It's time to trade in those empty promises for some real action.
The garbage is driving the truck. And then this lunatic decides to stay in the garbage costume for the whole duration of his speech in 2024. I think it would be the Republican nominee for president dancing to the song YMCA in a garbage man costume.
Be ashamed because she shouldn't let him do it. She's the vice president, but I assume she's acting as the president. She should never have let that happen.
Joy. The not-so-great pumpkin got a head start on Halloween.
So let's do ourselves a favor and send old Grumpy Trumpy packing. Maybe it's time for Trump to protect us all by staying far, far away from the White House. After all, the best Trump protection plan is the one where he's not in charge of anything more important than his golf tee time. Now that's what I call making America great again.